Hi, it's Chef Rick, and today I'm making Duff McKegans Prep Chef Pollo. So first thing we're going to do here is make some breadcrumbs. We're going to take the end of a piece of baguette and just tear it all apart. Any bread will do, make sure you got the crust on it if possible, and this is fresh-ish, but it doesn't really matter at all. You're just going to tear this apart and we're going to make some breadcrumbs. Once we've done this, you're just going to put it into an oven tray, stick it in the oven on about 160 for about 15 minutes or so, and it's just going to dry out really nicely. Take it out and test it, and if it's like this, look, it's just breaking apart, crumbling all over the place, snapping there like that, you'll see that that's right. If it's not, if it's still bending, if it's still fluffing, stick it back in the oven. Now into a blender, blitz it all together, and that's breadcrumbs. Obviously you could just use breadcrumbs anywhere you wanted, but these are fresh breadcrumbs because I didn't have any others in and I just had that bit of baguette, so it's that easy. So you can just see, give it a good mix up like that in the blender if you need to, and then tip it out, and there is your breadcrumbs. Like I said already, you could use store-bought, but these are fresh. And what we're going to do is actually add these to the rice. So now we'll get onto the rice. This is wild rice, and we're going to wash the rice, put it into a sieve, put it under a sink, cold running water, and just give it a really good wash, and put your hand underneath until the liquid going into your hand runs really nice and clear, because it'll have like a little bit of a colour to it first. So just run it until it goes clear. Do that for about a minute, and that's your rice ready to go. So your wild rice will go into a saucepan, again on a medium heat, cold water on top, in with some salt. Like I say, get that to kind of a medium hot heat. Bring that to the boil, give it a little mix round, and then in with the breadcrumbs. Now, I've never done anything like this before. I've never cooked with breadcrumbs before, but Duff McKagan, who I will tell you all about in a minute, he says that this thickens up the rice and adds more gusto and calories for the meal, because this was something that he used to cook for himself when he was poor. So you put a lid on there, take it over to the side, let that cook on a medium heat for about 15 minutes, and then you'll see you've got really nice, really thick rice, which is absolutely delicious. And I've been cooking loads of things with this style of rice since learning this technique. So you give that a little shuffle around, put the lid on, and just let it sit. Now we're going to prep a little salsa for a top, as basic as you like. So these are jalapeno chilies. So we chop off the top, chop them down the middle, and then we're going to take out the seeds. You can just take these out with your fingers. It's spicy enough, so you might want to wear gloves. You can use the back of a knife, but I think the idea of this dish is supposed to be so easy, which it is. It is so easy, as you say. And you're just going to chop these into little matchsticks lengthwise. And there's the jalapenos, an avocado. So we've cubed avocado before. This is not the prettiest avocado in the world, but again, I thought, you know what, this is supposed to be a very quick and fast dish. Great Duff McKagan, again, who I promise I will tell you about in a second. He lives in LA, so I bet he's got the most beautiful avocados on earth, but this was the best I could get hold of here in Manchester. So we're just going to peel off the avocado like that and dice it, cut lengthways, cut again like that, and that's just going to be some cubed avocado. And when I've done this since, I've done them much smaller than that, so just again. So there's the avocado chopped up. Some tin pineapples, treat yourself, get the Del Monte ones, they're really nice and sweet. So there's some cubed pineapple chunks, and I'm just going to mix those together. So you've got your avocado, your pineapple chunks, and your jalapeno chilies. You could make this like really pretty. You can imagine if you just diced them all really small. You could do a follow-up video one day with a similar salsa on there, but for now that's it. That's a simple salsa made. So your rice is made, your salsa made, and now it's time for the pollo part, which of course is chicken. So take chicken breasts, make them look pretty, just take off any of those little fatty bits. Any of the little connecting bit at the top of the breast like that as well, just remove. And what you want to do is very carefully kind of slice thinly into the side of these to create a couple of nice thin kind of breasts rather than using one big thick one. So you can see we get those. We've got some pieces there of our chicken. And Duff he grills these, or puts them under a broiler, as you would say in America. My grill's not working, so I've just used the pan here with some olive oil. I always like cooking chicken this way as well, because I think you get a really nice colour on it. So we're going to just put this in a pan, we're going to season it lightly, and we're just going to turn it, we're going to shuffle it ever so slightly, but we're going to turn it when it's got some lovely colour on it like that. And then we're going to do this a couple of times just to make sure. We're going to put some extra olive oil on the other side as well, because it adds that lovely bit of colour on there. Make sure everything's mixed around, and the chicken's obviously cooked through. You're going to be cooking this chicken for around about 10 minutes. And this is what we'll do next. So yeah, so now what we're going to do is just turn the heat down slightly. Now we're going to get some teriyaki sauce, and for the last parts of the cooking, we're going to spread this onto the chicken. And then we're going to turn it over again so it cooks. Now, Duff McKagan is the bass player from Guns N' Roses, and always been a massive fan of his. And my brother-in-law recommended his autobiography to me. It's called It's So Easy and Other Lies. It's really, really good read if you're into that sort of thing. But back before he was a mega famous multimillionaire rock star, he'd just work in kitchens. And this was his go-to dish when he was hungry. So he could still, this was something he used to eat every day. And he's put the recipe in a book, and I was like, I'm going to make that. I'm going to put that on the channel, and hopefully people like it. So it's, a little tribute to him. And he says nowadays he still makes it for people, but you can imagine it's on some like mega barbecue at the back of one of his many mansions all over the world. But just a really, really, really lovely recipe. And like I say, that thing with the rice, thickening the rice with breadcrumbs, was something I've never ever done before, but it just works, and it was fantastic. Last bit of the chicken cooking here, you can see what we've been doing is just spreading that teriyaki on there and just keeping it lovely and sticky and sweet and delicious. Take that off, and now we're just going to prep it. So some of that beautiful rice, chicken on the top. This is where I could have done the salsa like cubed and a little bit smaller, so it would have sat on the top, but whatever, there you go. There's the salsa on top, the chicken, the rice, and that is Duff McKagan's Prep Chef Pollo. And I really hope you enjoy the recipe. I hope you try it. It's so simple, it's absolutely delicious. I don't know what I can tell you about this one. It's a midweek tea, as quick as you like. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and we'll see you on the next one.